in the Dugout with Liam.
Hello everybody, welcome into the Dugout. I'm your host, Liam, Junior Baseball Fanatic 12. And today we are at the National over at the Baseball Card Exchange booth with Billy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good.
Awesome. I'm happy to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. Now, first up, I always love collecting with my family. So I would love to know at what age you started collecting, and if you have any special memories attached to
probably right around your age. I would say probably getting into middle school is when I really got into it. And my mom's cousin is married to a guy named Dan, and he used to kind of take me to all the shows. And I think at the time I think I was his reason to get to go to shows where his wife didn't argue it. But I remember going to a show. It was actually here at Rosemont, and it was me, my dad, and Dan. And my dad bought me a couple packs of Topps Chrome basketball. And back then they used to have hot boxes where every pack would have a refractor. And so the first 2 packs had a refractor. And I was like, Dad, you got to buy the rest of them. You don't get it. This is the hot box. And I ended up getting a Jordan refractor out of it. And I was just hooked from that time on, and just kind of dove into collecting from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So what's your favorite sport overall?
Baseball, for sure.
Baseball?
Definitely a baseball person. In terms of collecting, baseball is actually, even though my story was just about basketball, baseball is kind of the only thing that I stick with now.
And that's sort of what I was going to get into, what you personally collect. Who do you collect, what teams, or what era?
So I'm actually pretty big into pre-70 baseball. So kind of like you just said, and I'm going to steal your line. I've always liked history. I like baseball. It's the perfect combination. Especially working here, I see the modern stuff all day long, that when I go home and look at my own stuff, I like seeing kind of something different. And I really like set building. So I have complete top sets going all the way back to 54. I have a few more to do. I have to get the high numbers for 66, but otherwise I have a run of 54 to current top sets and some other oddball pre-war type of stuff. So that's what I stick to.
And when did you realize you could make a living in this industry? Do you have any tips?
That's a great question. I started working here for Steve. I actually did part-time for about 6 years. This is actually my first year full-time. I left education. I was a dean at a junior high. And, just kind of, I think, watching the business from that part-time view and kind of just learning along the way. I think especially somebody like you, just kind of picking up those tricks along the way of, what's smart to put your money into, what stuff should you maybe stay away from. Don't always pay big on what the hot name is this week, because if they have a bad game on Sunday, it could go down 50% and you're in the red then. So I think just kind of being able to watch from a distance for a bit and kind of take a bigger part in the business over time. And when they said they were going to open up a new retail store and they offered me kind of to take over that branch of the business, I jumped at it. So I think, honestly, until they made that offer, I never would have thought that I'd be doing this full time as a career.
And what do you think the best part of working at Baseball Card Exchange is?
It's such a different company in the sense that since we specialize in unopened vintage, you get to see all this stuff that most people don't even know exists. I mean, we had a 52 pack that we had up there that just sold today. But even that front showcase, 1954 packs, and last year we had a box of 1960 Topps baseball, and just kind of stuff that, is truly 101 stuff. Even though it's not numbered 101, it's stuff that you just never see anymore.
I personally, I would love to see some sealed 59s. When I first walked into that, I found a sealed pack of 1959. Now it's really expensive,
yeah.
But for
we
me,
have that showcase right up there. After we're done, you can look through it, and I'll show you some of them. I think there's a 57 cello pack in there. There might be a 59 pack. I know there's a 54 Topps, but there's definitely some 50s unopened stuff up there that we can show you.
That would be awesome.
Definitely.
And what is the best seller at your shop, whether it be vintage, modern, baseball, basketball, football?
Modern for sure, and if I had to narrow it down to a sport, it would probably be baseball.
Modern baseball?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people, not many people are in, that you see every day.
Yeah, I think just once again, being the company that we are, that we've kind of carved that niche of being a vintage dealer, we definitely get probably more than a normal shop would in terms of vintage, but you're 100% right that most people coming through the doors They want the new, they want the shiny, and it's definitely the modern.
And since I know Baseball Card Exchange has been in business since 1990, what is your take on the direction of the hobby?
Man, it's another good one. It's changing every day. I think we're coming back to reality from what we saw during COVID. Pricing's coming back to normal. Access to product for, kids your age is kind of getting back to normal. It's still, the prices are still super elevated. I'm sure Mom knows the pricing is elevated. I'm excited to see what Fanatics does with it. The stuff that they've talked to shops about, they have a lot of good ideas, I think, to get kids involved. And I think they realize if you price kids out right now, you aren't going to have that future base of collectors down the line. So I think they have some good ideas, programs that I know they're kind of kicking around or trying to get started. But, you can't really say much bad about the direction as you see how, we just had to wait, an hour to get this going. So, it's great to see all the people here. It's great to see every year the show's kind of growing. So I think the direction is still going in a positive way.
And like I said before, I'm trying to collect the 1959 Top set. And like I said, it would be awesome to see sealed wax from that era. Has anything come into the store that really wowed you?
We've had some really good stuff come through the shop since we opened. We had a guy that came in with a brick of 8-packs of 1952 Tops, and I think there's only 3 of those that we know to exist. And then we had a couple that were coming in, and unfortunately, it's the story you get a lot of times. A family member passed away, they inherited collections, and but they had just, some sets from the 60s and 70s that we bought. A lot of it graded, 8s and 9s. It was just like he opened them yesterday. It was incredible to see. They had tobacco cards that they had never been graded. Like, you could tell he was just a true collector, never got into the grading, never got into any of that stuff, just collected, put it in a box, put it in page sleeves, and, put it on a shelf. So I always like seeing that stuff. Like I said, you see the modern all the time, and, it's cool. There's stuff that catches your eye, but I love seeing the vintage that walks through that, like I said, we inherited this, we never even knew it was in the family type of stories, and that stuff to me is cool.
It really is. And is there anything in particular that you're looking to pick up here at the show, or whether it be for the shop or for your personal?
I got a chance to walk around yesterday and pick up some 1962 Topps high numbers that I needed for my set, so I finished that off. But other than that, I like looking at the booths and see what catches my eye. The National is anything you could ever imagine is on this show floor. So
I've seen game used jerseys and hats from Lou Gehrig, like all different stuff.
Yeah, my wife's dad was a big Lou Gehrig fan, so I always try to, every year at the National, I kind of try to pick up something Lou Gehrig related. There was a guy up front that had some old the proof photos from the Lou Gehrig speech day, and those caught my eye. So maybe at some point I'll walk up there and see if I can, work a deal. Yep.
This has been so much fun. And my final question for you, I know you're a little busy here.
Oh, you're okay.
Is there anything exciting coming up for Baseball Card Exchange that you can share with us?
So we just got on the Fanatics Live app as one of their breakers. We have our first year anniversary coming up September 3rd. So we're kind of planning something for the retail store. That's the retail store anniversary. Like you mentioned, the company's been in business since 1990. So we're planning something for that. We have a couple signings that we're putting the final touches on. So some appearances in shop that we'll put notice out for on social media. But I can't announce those ones quite yet until the contracts are hammered out. But yeah, a lot of stuff.
I can't wait to hear more about that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Remember their 1-year anniversary. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Liam. This was awesome. Yes, thank you as well. Thank you, buddy.
I would just like to give a big thank you to Billy over at Baseball Card Exchange for taking time out of a busy day at the National. Thank you for joining me in the dugout, and I'll see you next time.